Hi again then guys, and so don't be put off by this weird angle today. There's a very specific reason for that, and as I mentioned in my last unboxing video for the last car which I did on the channel, I mentioned that there were a couple of other things which I was hoping to win a bid for, things which I've been looking for quite some time on the channel. And I got a couple of them. In fact, I got all of the ones that I was primarily looking for, but a couple of them haven't been delivered yet. So I'm going to do 3 of them together because they're all under one subject in a different video. But for this video, this one's a little bit different because I don't buy action figures that much. And as you'll have seen from the title of the video, this one is a very significant action figure to me personally. Because this action figure is my favourite comic book character. I like plenty of comic book characters. I think Batman is probably one of my absolute favourites. But this is a comic book character who is not overly popular, not particularly well known. He's known, but not that well known. And this character actually directly inspired my personal style. My hair is directly inspired by him, as is these chains that you've been able to hear in the video. I literally wear these chains outside. I get some funny looks from people sometimes, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm 6'3", so who's going to say anything? But that style that I have is directly inspired by this character, and I'm wearing these in honour of him. Some people might know the character that I'm referring to, given the hair and the chains, because those are very clearly defining attributes of him. And so, here it is. Of course, that's not the entirety of the figure. Some people will maybe recognise this from comic books if you've read some comics. Other people probably won't. His name is Timmy. But of course, that isn't it, because little Timmy comes from a comic book where he is just a normal kid from a normal family, and some aliens come to Earth and steal, I believe it's an embryo from his mother, at around the same time that he was conceived, and they use that to make a hybrid between a human and an alien. And this alien has a biological connection to Timmy, even though he's a human, so technically this character is kind of the same age as Timmy, if I remember correctly. And this certain character's name is published by not Marvel, not DC, not even Dark Horse, but actually by Image Comics, and I believe there were only 22 issues in this character's entire run. And the character's name is Pitt. It's a character that's not particularly well known, not particularly successful, but it was animated by the same guy who did some of the animation for the Hulk comics. And so, the main part of the model that I bought isn't in fact little Timmy, of course, but is in fact Big Timmy, aka Pitt. And he is quite the model. As I said, very reminiscent of the Hulk. Doesn't have a nose. Very aggressive looking little guy, as you can see. The chain's direct inspiration, as is the hair. And yeah, it's my favourite comic book character by far. I love the detail on it, how you can see the chains through the jacket, even though of course there aren't any chains under the jacket. He's fully posable, each of the fingers is articulated, the wrists bend and turn, articulated elbows, articulated at the arm as well. It's pretty noisy, but it's supposed to be. A little bit of articulation on the head, the hair itself. Rubber chains, the ones on the ankles can be removed. Legs, toes are fully posable. It's got a nice weight to it as well. You can turn them at the waist. And basically, for those who are unfamiliar with this character, as I said, he's biologically little Timmy's brother to actual size. But he's roughly the same size as the Hulk. And yeah, his abilities are similar to the Hulk. As you'd assume, he has immense strength. But his catalyst of his strength is a little bit different to the Hulk, because obviously the Hulk's catalyst is anger. The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. With Pitt, it's a little bit different, because with Pitt, his catalyst is pain. So the more you hurt him and hit him and punch him and stab him and all that kind of good stuff, the stronger he gets. Pretty good perk to have. They did a one-shot comic, I think it was, of Hulk versus Pitt, and I believe it was a standoff, if I remember correctly, because they were both so strong and just kept on getting stronger, basically. I think the Hulk might win overall because of just how limitless the Hulk's strength seems to be, but Pitt's pretty up there. I think if you put Hulk and Pitt in a battle between all of the brawler characters from the comics, like the Thing, I don't mean the Alien, I mean the Fantastic Four Thing, Colossus, Luke Cage to some degree, Ironclad, Colossus. I already said Colossus, I think. What's his name? Vinnie Jones. Juggernaut, but the proper Juggernaut. He's that level of character. And yeah, he's got, in the comics, he's got retractable claws. He loses those at one point. He just has normal nails after that. His claws can cut through most things. He's not dumb, though. He looks like a big dumb grunt. He actually talks quite a lot. And in the first issue, I think it is, he decides when he comes to Earth that he wants to try and avoid killing people, if at all possible, which is kind of ironic, given that he looks like the Hulk if he was a Hellraiser, like with a Harley Davidson and that kind of stuff. But he ends up killing quite a few people by accident, just because he's the size of a bus and pretty tough too. And yeah, I think he's just a pretty badass looking character. And even though he wasn't that successful, like with cars, I love stuff that wasn't successful, stuff that's a bit more obscure, and stuff that I just like because I think it's cool. And to me, Pitt, he's one of those. So what this one was, is you would have to buy 5 individual heroes, and then you get like one of his arms with one of the heroes, and then the torso with another, and the leg. So you get 5 of them, and then you put them all together into this one big daddy-o. And you can do that with quite a few of these. They've got a builder figure for Galactus. I think there's one for Darkseid. I think there might be a Thanos one. I'm not sure. Sentinels from X-Men. And most of them are bigger than him in terms of height, but for width, in a similar way to me, for width, he's got it on lockdown. So yeah, pretty cool figure, I think. And he's going to be getting a prime place on a shelf that I'm going to have to put up in the room. So as I said, I have got a couple more figures that I am waiting to get delivery of. So when those arrive, I will be doing an unboxing for those also. So until those arrive, as always, thanks for watching.